The Valar, the guardians of the world. After the music of the ainur shaped the vision of Arda, some of the most powerful ainur chose to enter the world and become its caretakers. These beings were called the Valar, the supreme guardians of Middle-earth, who took physical forms to shape and protect the world according to Ilúvatar's design. Though they were divine beings, the Valar were not gods. They were stewards of Arda, each embodying a particular aspect of creation. However, their greatest struggle was against one of their own, Melkor, the most powerful of the ainur, who sought dominion over Middle-earth. The lords and queens of the Valar. The Valar were 14 in number, divided into lords, Aratar, and queens, Ivalir. Each had unique abilities and domains of influence. The lords of the Valar. 1. Manwë, the High King of Arda, lord of the air, winds, and birds. As Ilúvatar's chosen ruler, he resided on Mount Tanicatil and communicated directly with the Creator. He was the greatest enemy of Melkor. 2. Ulmo, the solitary lord of the seas and waters. Unlike the others, he rarely stayed in Valinor, preferring to wander the deeps of the oceans. He often guided elves and men in secret. 3. Aule, the master of crafts, smithing, and mountains. He forged the lands of Middle-earth and secretly created the dwarves. Though he was closest in nature to Melkor, he remained loyal to Ilúvatar. 4th Orome, the great hunter, protector of forests and wild creatures. He was among the first to find the elves and resisted Melkor's creatures with his mighty horn, Valaroma. 5th Mandos, Namo, the doomsman of the Valar, ruler of the halls of the dead. He knew the fates of all beings, but revealed little. 6. Lorien Ermo, the master of dreams, visions, and Restis gardens in Valinor were a place of peace and wisdom. 7th Tulkas, the strongest of the Valar, the warrior of Arda. He arrived last, but was the most fearless opponent of Melkor, driving him into exile with his sheer might. The queens of the Valar. First, Varda, the queen of the stars, Manwë's wife. She created the brightest stars and was feared by Melkor, who could not endure her light. 2. Yavanna, the giver of life, responsible for plants, trees, and all growing things. She later created the 2 trees of Valinor, which lit the world before the sun and moon. 3. Nienna, the Lady of Sorrow, representing grief and endurance. She wept for the suffering of Arda and taught wisdom through sorrow. 4. Esther, the healer and Lady of Rest. She brought peace and relief to both Valar and elves. 5th Vaere, the weaver of time, who recorded all events in the tapestry of Arda. 6th Vana, the ever-young, sister of Yavanna, whose presence made flowers bloom and birds sing. 7. Nessa, the swift dancer, wife of Tulkas, known for her speed and love of deer. The first war against Melkor. When the Valar entered Arda, they began shaping the world according to the vision they had seen. However, Melkor, who had also descended into Arda, sought to undo their work and claim the world for himself. This led to the First War, as Melkor battled against the Valar, corrupting their creations and filling the world with fire and chaos. For a long time, the battle was evenly matched. Melkor destroyed what the Valar built, and the Valar rebuilt what he destroyed. Eventually, with the arrival of Tulkas, Melkor was forced to retreat into the void, giving the Valar time to prepare Arda for the coming of the Elves and Men. The Valar's role in Middle-earth. After their victory, the Valar withdrew to the undying lands of Valinor, far from Middle-earth. They created the two trees of Valinor, which became the greatest source of light in the world. However, they did not completely abandon Middle-earth. They kept watch over the lands and occasionally intervened, especially when Melkor, now called Morgoth, returned and resumed his war against the Free Peoples. The Valar also sent their Maiar, lesser divine spirits, to Middle-earth, including figures like Gandalf, Saruman, and Sauron. Though they did not rule directly, their influence continued to shape the fate of Middle-earth. Legacy of the Valar. The Valar played a crucial role in the early history of Arda, from its creation to its shaping. However, as time passed, their direct involvement in Middle-earth lessened, leaving elves, men, and other beings to determine their own destinies. Despite this, their presence could still be felt through the stars, the forests, the seas, and the winds, the very elements of the world they shaped. Would they return in the world's final days? That remains a mystery known only to Ilúvatar himself.